We will continue to record and report ICE activity in our communities, and we will continue to stand up for every vulnerable person in our state.
I cannot believe what I'm about to show you. Now, this is State Senator Karina Villa. We have talked about her before on my channel. She is the one who did this.
This is my city, that's right! Take off your mask!
Please.
Take off your mask!
Well, I went to the state senator's Facebook page and I realized she was posting that ICE was in the area. However, I also realized if you go to the view edit history, there's something there that you are not going to believe. Now, we're going to talk about this view edit history and some other things. But before we start the video, I need you guys to please like the video. The reason we're able to help so many communities within the United States is because you guys promote the videos, promote the channel, subscribe. All of that helps to get the story out there. So let's dig into it.
We will continue to record and report ICE activity in our communities, and we will continue to stand up for every vulnerable person in our state.
Okay, so State Senator Karina Villa of Illinois. She doesn't hide the fact that she puts on her own social media that ICE is in the area. You can even call a number, you can give her information, and she's able to let everyone know in the community that ICE is there. Now, for those of you that are subscribed to my channel, you know we talk about this all the time. There are lawmakers, a lot of lawmakers, who will do this exact same thing. You know, just talk about the street where ICE may be and stuff like that. However, I did a little research myself, and if you click on these three dots right here, you go to View Edit History, and you scroll down, this is a little more detailed than just talking about the street names. In fact, it's the specific vehicles and the actual license plates. Now, obviously, I cannot show you guys the vehicles and the license plates. That would make me a hypocrite, and I don't want to break the law, but just trust the right people have already seen this. This has already been forwarded to the right people who may want to take a look at this because, I don't know, as a lawmaker, posting the exact car, the color of the vehicle, the make of the vehicle, and the license plates, and the exact area of where the agents are, I don't know if you're allowed to do this, but I'm just pointing out, when you look into the definitions of what leaking is, this is considered a leak. And this is directly from a politician, a state senator. A state senator is posting the details of the vehicles belonging to federal agents. Now look, we find stuff like this all the time on my channel, so make sure to please subscribe to my channel so I can keep you up to date with stories just like this. And again, make sure to please like the video, leave your comments down below so people can see what's going on. Now again, I don't want to make any accusations, but I just want to show you in real time, this is exactly what you're seeing. Here is the post on Facebook. Again, rather vague. Here's the street names where you might see ICE. You go straight here, go to the view edit, and yesterday at 11:57 a.m. and yesterday at 4:11 p.m., you can see following vehicles and following vehicles suspected as ICE. This has the vehicle names, the colors, the license plates, but then when you scroll down, which is the newly edited, updated version, it's way more vague. Again, I don't know if this state senator meant to delete the post or try to, condense down the post, but I'm just trying to put it out there. The edited post doesn't really matter. When you go to the edit history, you can still see the names of the vehicles and the license plates and some other information. Now, Homeland Security has straight up said they've been dealing with a lot of issues from lawmakers pretty much leaking the information of where ICE is located, and also an app like this, IceBlock. Well, if you haven't heard the news already, IceBlock has officially been removed from the Apple Store after a ton of contention that this app is leading to the tracking of ICE agents. That is literally why the app was created, to let people know when ICE is in the area. Well, the app has officially been removed. That is massive.
And breaking tonight, Apple has just removed the app IceBlock from the App Store. Now, the program allowed users to post the location of ICE agents, which, as the Attorney General Pam Bondi pointed out, put them in serious danger. Her discussions with Apple got that app removed. Here with reaction is
Now, what's pretty interesting about that is that Apple realizes after talking to Pam Bondi and probably some other people looking into the story, it might not be the safest thing to have an app that leaks the area of ICE agents when out of every security force within the United States, they have the highest potential of getting hurt and losing their lives. And not only that, an app like ICE Block, that could also harm the illegal immigrants. We've already seen in Dallas that illegal immigrants are also involved in possibly getting hurt as well.
President Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, how would Apple get away with doxing agents and contributing to an atmosphere of putting agents and law enforcement in danger like that?
I mean, they shouldn't. And I think they took it down because what Pam Bondi said, they're going to investigate these people who put these apps up, because it puts law enforcement at great risk. People need to remember, ISIS, they're not just out arresting illegal aliens. I look at the numbers every morning. 70%, 7 out of every 10, are criminals. And the other 30% include national security threats. To give anybody a heads up, the ISIS working right now on 14th Street and Broadway, if you're a criminal in that area, there's going to be that population, that percentage that's going to prepare for ICE to come.
And that's what we cover in my YouTube videos. And by the way, sorry, I'm realizing this is Portland and I recognize some of those protesters. When it comes to these ICE tracking apps, here's where the contention is. A lot of people will argue, well, what's the difference between ICE tracking and then being on the Waze app and saying, hey, there's a speed trap coming up, slow down? And the counter argument is, well, the intention. Slowing down for a speed trap is probably a good thing. On the flip side, if you're trying to avoid the area, and anyone can use that app, it's open source, which means it can be a little flawed. If you are an actual criminal, this is like the best app ever. Now I know I'm just not gonna go here. It's on the ICE Block app. So of course, we have different intentions when it comes to, is it comparable to a police blocking app or an ICE blocking app? You guys can leave your comments down below, but this all comes down to intention. That's really what it all comes down to.
Someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to get killed. They gave a heads up to the bad guy. Someone's about to knock at your door. So I'm glad Pam Bondi's stepping up. DOJ's investigating this heavily. I think that's why the app went down, because they're looking at a criminal investigation.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, I don't know if they're going to be sued or anything like that. The only way that the government can really sue this app is if they're able to directly trace if there was an interference or somebody who gets arrested and said, yeah, I used the app to block you. That's where the app can get in trouble. But I think Apple did the right thing. There is no point to have that liability. And as I make this video, just so you know, there are some other applications out there on the Apple Store that do the exact same thing. I'm not going to say the names of the apps, but they're also sort of being blasted on the independent scene. But we're not going to talk about that here. Okay, so moving on to this lawmaker right here. This is City Councilor Angelita Murillo. And if you're subscribed to my channel, we've talked about her before. She is a city councilor of Portland. Well, this is a new video she posted. I don't want to spoil it. I'm very curious how you guys feel about what she's going to say, but I don't think the Trump administration, they are fans of when lawmakers say stuff like this.
Portland City Councilor Angelita Murillo, and I just wanted to give an update on where we're at with President Trump trying to send in troops and potentially the National Guard into Portland, as well as some updates on protest safety, given the fact that we have more federal agents operating.
She's going to talk about protest safety, such as things as make sure to bring your burner phone, make sure to actually completely cover your face, stuff like that. But again, within context of Portland, all of the protesting is mainly happening in front of the ICE building. And a lot of the people who are getting arrested, they've, either assaulted an agent or they broke into the federal property. The people getting arrested are not the ones who really have to worry about covering their faces because they are protesting legally. So you'll see what I mean here in a second.
In our city. As many of you have probably already seen, Oregon and Portland have filed lawsuits against the Trump administration saying that he cannot use Title 10 to bring troops or the National Guard into our city because there is not enough justification legally under Title 10 for him to do so. Our streets are looking very nice. We're having some beautiful fall days, and we do not need the federal government's intervention.
And just so you guys know, today I actually do think the National Guard may be deployed to Portland. And if you guys are subscribed to my channel, you know we've been covering Portland every single day for over 100 days in a row now.
Right now, it looks like we have a pretty good chance at winning these cases, which would stop the Trump administration from even being able to start bringing in federal troops or the National Guard. And we have seen that work successfully in other jurisdictions. That being said, a lot of things can change if we are not careful and deliberate with our actions in the next few days. Now, I want to start off by saying I'm not your mommy, I'm not your big sister, and I'm not your babysitter. So I'm going to give you my legal analysis as a city councilor of the risks and benefits of different actions at federal buildings, but I trust your judgment, and you need to decide what risks you are willing to take for yourself.
And again, I'm glad she said this because we see this with lawmakers all the time. A lawmaker will just vaguely say, you should be out there, go and film, take pictures, specifically talking about the governor of Illinois, but doesn't give the disclaimer of, just so you know, be careful. At least she's giving a disclaimer, but you'll see what she's about to say.
And for your community as a whole, because all of this is impacting us collectively. We know that there are more ICE agents on the ground now and that federal surveillance is at an all-time high. So here are some ways that you can protect yourself while organizing for your community. Local journalists like Kevin Foster, who are on the ground at the ICE building, have captured video footage showing that there are unidentified black helicopters flying over the ICE building, and we suspect that they are using that to gather data on people.
By the way, they were gathering data on detail. We now know that that was a Black Hawk helicopter, and 4 illegal immigrants were shining a laser at the helicopter. So she's right that they were gathering data and surveillance, but it was of people shining a laser at the Black Hawk helicopter. 4 illegal immigrants, by the way, that just came out a couple of days ago from the FBI, so she's correct there.
There are facial recognition technology devices used at most federal buildings, and most people think that they can beat that by covering their faces, but if you just cover the lower half, guess what? You have left your eyes and eyebrows, which are the most identifiable part of you. Even if you do cover your face successfully, some technology can also track your gait and the way that you walk in order to create a pattern that's just identifiable to you, just like a fingerprint. And guess what? Your phone, you should consider this a tracker and a listening device at all times. With your phone, they can track your location, they can see who you met with. If you happen to organize with a bunch of different people and you all took the bus to the same secure location, guess what? They have a pattern of who you organize with and who you talk to and how long and why. So you should get a Faraday cage which blocks the signal from your phone. You should disable fingerprint and facial recognition technology to unlock your phone, and you should have a PIN that is longer than 4 numbers.
So again, look, everything she's saying can kind of go both ways, and this is why I'm a little shocked that we're seeing so much of this. If you are like somebody who doesn't trust the government and, you don't trust this government surveillance, totally get it, understand. You can't even talk in your phone anymore without getting an advertisement. Like, for people like that, yeah, she's probably giving some decent advice. But then on the flip side, and this is what Tom Homan was alluding to with the ICE blocking app, when you have a lawmaker who is an elected official and people look up to you, and let me tell you something, whether or not you like this lawmaker, she is popular. She is liked in Portland by a lot of these protesters we're seeing. They talk about her all the time. We see it on the TikToks. She is liked. So on the flip side, if you are somebody who doesn't like ICE and you may potentially want to do something bad, you're hearing this and this could be some great advice to try and lay low, avoid any sort of action to where you can get in trouble. And so I am not accusing this lawmaker of alluding to that, but the point I'm trying to make is when you have lawmakers who give advice like this, it could really go both ways. This is why the Trump administration, they're starting to track down and look into things like this.
If you're going to regularly
And yes, they've seen the video.
protest, I also highly recommend going to your local grocery store, buying a burner phone in cash, and using encrypted apps like Signal to communicate with people and having disappearing messages on. You should attend protests with people you know and trust, and you should have someone trusted at home who has everyone's insurance information, everyone's job information, and is acting as jail support in case anything happens to their friends. I believe that we will win, but we have to be smarter and we have to be better organized than our opposition because they
But the question is, who's the opposition? And that's why I'm playing this video. When you use the word opposition, that means against, or we're against them. And I do at least like that she put a disclaimer. I am not encouraging anyone to take illegal actions. We just know that surveillance is applied to people who are innocent under the law as well. I agree with her. There is a lot of surveillance going on, but at the same time, knowing about Portland, knowing that people across the street from this Portland federal building she's referring to, they've been begging and asking for help. So when they see their own lawmaker talking about these protesters and the opposition, I think there's a lot of questions that people have, like, okay, why are you talking about this? Are you alluding to something? So I just want to put it out there. Again, I don't think she said anything inherently illegal, but a lot of people already saw this video and are asking, what are the actual intentions? So I just wanted to put it out there, but I do want to be clear, everything she said wasn't illegal at all, because it can go both ways. But for the people who don't like ICE, this is some pretty valuable information. All right, so back to square one. Again, I do want to point out when it comes to State Senator Karina Villa, she has made it very clear, and even the governor of Illinois has been asking people to film. Film everything you see, get the identities of the officers, ask for their badge numbers, and post it on the internet. So in a sense, I can't even blame the state senator for doing anything wrong. She's doing what the governor is saying to do, but what she's doing, I don't think she realizes, like, you're putting the exact details of the license plates and the cars and the makes and the area of the ICE agents. We live in a culture, political culture right now, where these ICE agents are under threat, under attack, and I'm just pointing out, I don't know if you're allowed to do this. And I do find it interesting that she re-edited the post to go back to where there wasn't all of those details. Now, I don't know why she did that. I don't know if she intended to delete the post, but I'm just trying to simply point out that is classified as a leak to take the information and put it on the internet. Because, yeah, what if somebody did that to your vehicle and put it on the internet? I don't think people would want that. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, make sure to please like, leave your comments, let me know how you feel about it, and let others know that this is happening right now. We are seeing lawmakers do this. Again, I really want peace. I don't want anyone to get hurt. And if you don't like ICE and you're watching my videos, that's fine. You are welcome here. I want a peaceful environment. I want us to all come together, and I want us to have solutions on how we can come together as well. That's all I ever advocate. I only want peace. Let's all pray for peace in this country. God bless, and we'll see you all later.